All right, what is going on, everybody? Today we have a bit of a more serious topic to discuss. So I have prepared ahead of time a bit of a script to keep myself on topic, but also I want to make sure that I cover everything that I wanted to, that I could remember anyways, to speak about in this video. Some of you may notice that I don't have my glasses on. Part of that is because I am reading from a script, and you can see the reflection of that in my glasses sometimes when I look at the camera, so part of that is just to avoid that for you guys, for that glare. So some of you may have heard that either from myself through Discord or my YouTube community post, or through other content creators about recent events. So I'm going to go over the what in terms of what this is. So the timeline that was that on late Sunday night, somebody took it upon themselves to post a conversation that I had in my baby account Alliance chat to Reddit, which was concerning Morgan Le Fay and her potential unlock star rank. Now, this is a Discord of like less than a dozen people. So for those who are regulars of my Discord and didn't see anything, that's why. So I'm 95% sure that I know who this person is, the Alliance leader of my baby account. And the reason why I'm suggesting this is because the original image in question had the comment that I had replied to in Discord blacked out, suggesting that they didn't want the name to appear, or at least that person was involved. Maybe somebody else posted it. Now, for those that have seen the images in question, my language was definitely left to be desired. I could have used better words, and perhaps that would have created a different outcome, but that's neither here nor there now, and probably was a bit unlikely anyways. And I'm willing to admit that yes, I did post information I likely shouldn't have. Was it breaking an NDA though? And it definitely was not. Myself and other envoys have access to the call in question, as well as nowhere in the Envoy channel that suggested that this information was under any embargo or NDA. Some might say, well, Boilon, didn't you sign an NDA upon entering the Envoy program to begin with? And yes, we did, at least to the best of my recollection. But it is incumbent on them to tell us what information is completely private, which was not disclosed to us. In fact, a lot of the information in the Envoy call was said in many people's videos. I'm sure that some of you may have saw them for yourself. People talked about Cerebro's promotion and all sorts of other tidbits of information that we got from the call. And, let's talk about the exploits, because that was definitely a topic of conversation there too. And, for example, in regards to the War Store exploit that they can't confirm nor deny, people getting free resources using a loophole like that. There was conversations about blitzbotting and hacking and, what they're going to do about this now, allegedly. So there was lots of topics of conversations in this call that was free game to be discussed outside, except seemingly this one thing. Now, to get back on track to the original point, though, yes, I've learned a valuable lesson today. And that's to make sure that I absolutely run a tight ship on Discord or other communicative platforms, and that you can't really trust very many people in your life. People who I thought, were my friends, were more than willing to throw me under the bus when it became convenient to do so. I'm also in a bit of dismay that Cerebro did not even give me any respect and communicate with me about the decision at any point in time, and was just met with a kick from the channel. But hey-oh, they can do what they want over there, clearly. And so let's then transition that into a talk about what I have learned about the Envoy program more broadly. Why was I even in the first place? And, I'll be honest, looking back on it, I'm a bit unsure. Most people should know what kind of benefits are derived from this, which includes, a couple character photos and a few days early access to patch kits. Sometimes this doesn't even matter. Like right now, we have like 3 characters that are already available on the blogs as far as kits go. There's actually very little communication between envoys and community managers and the devs. That's what they try to make you think, but a lot of it is really you talking and then them ignoring you. For anyone who is a regular in my Discord knows that I often talked about times where I would raise issues there, to be met with complete radio silence for quite some time before acknowledgement. And I've realized that there's a lot of apathy in the program as well, from at least, probably at least half of the envoys, because as far as chatter went, There actually was very little, and for those who did, it was like myself and a handful of others. But maybe some of the others have just checked out, when they realized that they couldn't really push for anything meaningful because Scopely and Boundless are not actually there to improve the player experience. They are a business, so let's not kid ourselves that they have our best interests at heart. It's about what makes them the most money and how they can continue to do so. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't, make money at the same time and somehow make positive changes for us, but just know that when they do that, there's an ulterior motive behind that. And, this isn't to say anything ill about some of the other envoys, and I can totally relate to, all this being ignored and not really getting anywhere, because, frankly, it is a waste of time. And one thing that I will be happy to get back is all of the time that I spent in there trying to advocate for positive change for you guys, for the community. And, unfortunately, I won't be able to do this anymore. But, I wasn't really making a ton of progress. Anyways, it would seem it took me almost a month for #FixKate on her passive. We'll see if the next patch even fixes that properly. That remains to be seen. There are a couple of good intentioned envoys that, still continue to fight the good fight and probably will, despite how futile it does seem a lot of the times. And best of luck to them continuing that on. But at the end of the day, we know that the only positive change that this game will get is when it's beneficial to Scopely and Boundless's bottom line. I also want to say that there, are some vultures in the Envoy program. There's a lot of people actually in there that probably shouldn't be, whether that's because they stopped doing content for Marvel Strike Force. It's a bit saturated, to be honest. There's a lot of people in there, probably like, from what I remember, like 30-something people, maybe there's a bit more, I can't remember. And, there are people who are only in it for themselves, who maybe act nice on the outside, but have no problems willing to stab you in the back when it suits them, or when it's convenient to do so. I've definitely learned the amount of people that I can count on is definitely a lot smaller than I originally thought. And maybe that is my bad for being too trusting of people when I thought that it was designed to be a community of individuals sharing a passion for Marvel Strike Force. And, that's my fault, and I've definitely learned something there. I also want to leave the room for a quick shout out to all of the non-English content creators that, that they have over there in the Envoy program. If any of you have made it this far at all in the video, the lack of respect that they treat you guys in the program really is appalling. The non-English community in Marvel Strike Force gets the worst end of the stick because Scopely and Boundless, frankly, does not care about them, and I think it's just platitudes at this point, and that they're doing it just to extend an olive branch to that community and be a little bit nice about it. Blog posts are often effed up because it's not translated properly, and fixes come almost never or far too late to matter. We've seen how translations of the kits in game are often effed up as well, and that either isn't changed or takes forever to do so as well. They claim it takes 3 to 4 days to get a translation out for any of the English statements, so that's pretty bad if you ask me. So you guys should definitely speak up more and get the respect that you deserve. Otherwise, there's no point in really being in the Envoy program, and that's just my opinion there. But hopefully you guys will do something about that. So that kind of leaves us with the finale and where the Boilon journey and channel goes from here. I think that it goes without saying that I never needed the Envoy program to do what I did prior. Hell, I was only in it since the Eternals patch, so I was definitely capable of making videos before that, and most of my videos were largely completely irrelevant to being in the program in the first place. So expect a lot of the same because nothing on that front is going to change. I can still make the event videos that people love and other ways to spreadsheet random stuff out and keep my own data for the community to help plan ahead in this game and anything related to this. In some way, it is a bit of a relief because I alluded to this earlier, but this means that I'll be able to recoup a lot of time lost, spent as free labor in the Envoy channel for basically limited or no return. And, I do want to stress that I would probably spend anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, of time on Discord in some respect of communication, trying to get issues addressed. You know, some days are better than others, or worse than others in some cases because of the issues that face the game. So getting that back and clawing that back means more time for you all, whether that's in Discord or just making more videos, or, you know, possibly more days for Twitch streaming. I don't know. Some people have asked me if that means I would leave Marvel Strike Force. And no, at this stage, I mean, there isn't really any reason to do so. I will likely do some experimentation here and there with other games, be that on my YouTube or on Twitch, because I am a gamer through and through, with a lot of different interests, so I don't want to limit myself to just this mobile game that in a lot of ways has a vice grip on us as far as it goes, you know, whether that be sunk time fallacy, time sunk, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyways, or addiction, you know, which of course is a serious thing. You know, so without a doubt, going forward, I'll learn who my real friends are in this community, and there are those who will stand by me and those who will not. And to the ones who won't, then that really shows more about them than it does about me. And so we'll find that out in the near future. So I think that basically wraps up what I've wanted to say here. You know, and I want to give my thanks to all of those who made it to the end. And for those who, you know, those of you who did, you know, are probably the true fans, you know, and the ones who care enough to see it through here. And for that, I give you all of my thanks for continuing to support this channel. And you have not heard the last of me. Unfortunately, for those haters out there who are hoping that this might do something serious to me, I'm going to keep my head up high and keep on moving forward, because all of this aside, I have learned something very valuable today, and some really valuable life lessons. So that's all for me. And of course, everyone, until next time, stay safe and healthy and sane, because we are living in some very, very crazy times these days. And Boilon signing out.